Bliss. Here I am in New Hampshire. Um, I don't mind the hair. I haven't washed my hair. I did take a little bit of a shower today at the gym, but it was real quick because the water was not warm. So, so I just got here. What in the world is today? Saturday? I got here yesterday, 1 hour sleep. Colorado Springs, Dallas Airport, Boston Airport, Concord coaches. Slept in this U-Haul last night after I did storage until about 1 o'clock in the morning. Um, had about maybe 4 or 5 hours sleep, which was good. It felt good, but it is now starting to catch up to me, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. So, so I did that, and then what did I do today? Oh, I went over and Ubered for a job interview, just your basic fast food interview. And she's like, "Well, I'll get back to you." And I'm like, "Okay." And then, unemployment has people put in what, like 4 jobs a day? No, put in 20. Put in 10, 15, 20 jobs. So, I was on my phone, putting jobs in at the bus stop, and I had gone back there after after what? After I went for my interview. Ubered back over there, only like $6 over here. I'm used to an Uber costing like $30 in Colorado. Ubered back over to the bus stop. I knew that they would be open. I didn't know how I was going to plan my night. And when I was out and about, somebody came up behind me and said, "Is that you, Mom?" I'm like, "Oh my goodness." This was totally answered prayer. My son's phone broke. I told my other son to message him on Facebook and give him my number. But he couldn't call me because he hadn't gotten a phone yet. And I'm like, shoot, I've got to see him when I come to New Hampshire. I got to make sure I see him. So he was like bewildered because he did not even know I was in New Hampshire. He had no idea. And he's like, "Is that you, Mom?" And I turn around and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, hey." I mean, I must have prayed within an hour, answered prayer. And I had already been searching for my son. I'm like, okay, that guy's on a bike. That doesn't look like him. That doesn't look like him. So I was seeking my son and looking for him. And then I just got busy doing other stuff on my phone. And all of a sudden I hear him and I'm like, oh my goodness. So it was so good to see him. I haven't seen him since February because he left. He was staying in Colorado and then he left right after Valentine's Day. He had gotten me some chocolates and then he went on the bus and he was just like, "Colorado's not for me." So so good to see him. And we actually caught up a few hours, caught up on things, had lunch together. Yeah, so we went out together. He's doing good. So so anyways, he's got his phone now and everything. So he just called me, but texted me and called me when I was at Market Days. So I had gotten back to the bus stop and then I'm like, okay, what am I doing for tonight? Do I really need another truck? I'm like, I could just camp tonight. I'm like, I'm going to go to Market Days. So I went there. But I'm like, I could just camp and, make do. And I'm like, I'm like, I don't know that I want to do that. So I'm like, okay, just get the truck for tonight and then, figure things out tomorrow, maybe a hotel room tomorrow. So as I got this truck, I had gone to Market Days. I just walked up the road and went there, saw people I knew, so community, supported people that I support. And then got some Chinese. Oh my goodness, I haven't even eaten I ordered, one of the reasons why I went there was for fried dough. I have not had fried dough in ages. So I completely forgot about that. So I get back over to the truck and I get this text that you qualify for free storage for a month. And I had already seen a flyer today, but I'm like, oh, I'll think about it. And then he gave me a text and I'm like, I think if I have the truck already. A good solution would be to take everything out of this storage unit, get it to the other one, and get a whole month free. I know it sounds ridiculous, but $200, I'm willing to do it. So, to save some money, I am now just getting to this storage unit, and I am moving everything myself. My son had offered to help, and then somehow he got doing his own thing, so I am doing all of this myself tonight. Everything's going in here that I can fit in, so I'm going to get rid of some stuff. I might video some of it as I go along. It's raining, so I'm going to put my pink sweater on, and I've got a coat with me. I'm going to be doing this in the rain. So I am going through everything tonight. I am going to be up late. I'm probably not going to get everything over there for 10 o'clock. I'm probably going to have to park this thing, and then tomorrow, like until like 3 o'clock, unpack it over there. So everything's going tonight. And the other thing too is, I called my guys in Colorado, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to move stuff. You guys okay with that? And they're like, yep. So this is a good balance between saying, yeah, I'm trying to save some money on storage, and I do want to keep stuff. I'm not ready to get rid of some stuff. So this will be a good move. Plus, it's cheaper each month. It's like $170 instead of $205. So that will be good for me. Now, the last thing is, I put in all these jobs. You know, when you put in all these jobs, there are a lot of maybes. Like, I even called Domino's without a car. And I'm like, look, you know, this is my situation, and this is up in Laconia. And I'm like, I can do Domino's, but I don't have a car right now, so I'm going to have to figure out how to do it. Because if I rent a car and then I take money out of the deliveries, I can probably do it. And he's like, well, I do have a vehicle here, a company vehicle here you can use. So, we talked about that, but I'm like, well, I need a solid job in Concord first so that I can pay for the vehicle over there. So that is in the works, but that's not real stable. So if I don't get stable work, like right away, and I forgot to call the guy who said he'll hire me if I come to New Hampshire. I keep forgetting to call him. So I got to call him again, because last time I called him, he's like, just let me know when. Just let me know when. I had called a company, a cleaning company, thinking it was his because the names had changed, and it wasn't. I didn't get him. So I got to call him again, and then if I don't get work, I may actually leave tomorrow night just to be able to stay on, you know, on things and say, okay, get your cleaning business going even more in Colorado. I did know that I wanted to take this little bit of time to get over here, because what happened is I was training at a restaurant, studied all week, studied the week before, and I'm like, this is taking too much of my time to be studying for this restaurant. It's like, come on, I've been waitressing for so long, and now I don't have income coming in while I study. And I'm like, it's either make it or break it type of thing. So I studied, and I got, like, I would say, like, pretty much 89% of the menu down, without the drinks. So, I mean, I really pushed myself, and I had the test, and I kind of blew it. I got so nervous that I blew it. So they're just like, well, you failed. And I'm like, well, because I was nervous, you know, and I did get something thrown at me too. I didn't expect, with the waitressing test. It was something stupid. It was a mock, what do you call it? Customer service thing. One mistake I made was he had ordered a regular drink, this guy, just a normal drink. And then he said, are your chicken wings gluten-free? And I said, no, they're not. And I said, but it's not like bread. You know, I'm thinking bread, flour, wheat. What's the matter with chicken wings, right? So he didn't say anything. He kept silent, didn't say anything. So I went on with the order. And then he's like, how's your New Orleans jambalaya? I'm like, oh, it's awesome. If you watch the reviews on YouTube, like I did. It's super good. Everybody likes it. It is a little spicy, but it's super good. And so he's like, okay, I'll take that. Nothing was said. I said, okay. And what kind of gluten beer do you have? And I'm like, oh, we have this one. And he goes, do you have tasters? And we got caught up in the conversation. And I'm like, yeah, I can get you a taster of this. And that's just a little free, like, shot. So I got so caught up in that I forgot to card him. That's a huge no-no in the restaurant business. And I know to card him, but I got caught up with the taster and I got caught up with the gluten-free stuff. So I forgot. And then once I remembered I forgot, I backtracked and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to card you. And he had this drink and he already drank it. It wasn't even that long. I went to fix my mistake and they were like, nope, that's a no deal. You failed. So this was 5 days of studying the menu, lots of training, and that was my mistake. I just got nervous, and a lot of people were surprised because they were like, well, let me see what the policy is, and we can probably redo the test just because you were nervous. And the other guy was like mad. He was really mad because he told me to make sure I ID'd him before the test started. I'm like, yeah, I will. And then I got nervous. So he was just like, nope, we're going to make a call. And nope. And it was, to me, it was pretty picky because, I mean, I know this and I've carded people all the time. And then they did also change their policy. Well, they changed telling me right before my test. They said, make sure you card everyone. I was told if someone looks under 30, then you card them. So that's what I had studied for. And this guy was gray, and I knew, obviously, he was old enough. So that's what was in my head. And he had said to me before they said, let's go talk. He said, how has your training been? I said, extremely messy. He goes, really? What's been going on? I said, well, the first night I didn't get training. It was just an introduction to the restaurant kind of thing. Kind of surface. I go, he did a good job, but it was just surface. Second night, you were too busy to really train me. Third night was better. Fourth night was better, but, you know, they gave me an extra day because they had screwed up the first and second night. But yet there was no POS training on those 2 nights too. I said, you didn't even give me training on that. And so I'm not real comfortable with the little tablet. So he's like, that's why I'm here now, because I need to be here and train people. I didn't follow you. I don't know what you knew and what you didn't know. And I'm like, exactly. So their training stunk. And I've never seen a restaurant have training with no follow-up. Like, what do you know or what don't you know? They didn't do anything up until the test. Just all I heard is, you can't do this. And I was like, yes, I can. And I know I can. So I still can. I mean, that's very picky compared to everything you have to know. Like nitpick, just being human. That was a human mistake. And then the other thing, and I took responsibility for it. I did. I said, yep, I failed. You're right. I did. And then the other thing was, what was it? Yeah, that chicken wing. So he's like, you should have put allergy on it. You didn't put allergy. And I'm like thinking, I didn't even know you really had like an allergy with chicken. Like, why would you have an allergy with chicken? But he's like, I don't have a gluten allergy, but I could have been celiac. Is that how you say it? He's like, that flour, or not flour, the sauce, the way if it was in the fryer or the sauce that they make has wheat in it, the sauce, that could have given him an allergy. So, I mean, it wasn't taught. I didn't know. And he's like, hopefully they have really, trained you to card everyone. I go, no, not really. They didn't really, pound that in at all. So there was and as a matter of fact, I didn't know this. Someone told me right before my test, if they have a sting operation in a restaurant and you say, hey, are you 21? And the police officer says, yes, I am. Or no, he says, no, I'm not. And the restaurant gets in trouble, it doesn't count because the police officer cannot lie, and he was asked if he was 21. So that's what they're doing now. They're actually asking people, are you 21? So, so just a lot of, I'm like, so he's like, yeah, you're really personable. He goes, no question about it. And I go, well, I'm a mother. He goes, are you? How many do you have? I'm like, 5. He goes, holy cow, your home must have been crazy. It must have been crazy with all those boys. So, so I told him that, I've really never had this experience before, with the so much to learn. He's like, yep, there is a lot to learn. So, so he went and checked, and then he goes, want to come with me? And the feeling I had was a we're okay kind of feeling. Like, yeah, let's talk about it and make sure it doesn't happen again. But when I got in the office, I don't know if I was recorded or what, but the whole vibe felt totally different. And it was, nope. So I kind of already felt like someone didn't want me there. Because they're like, even when I went in, they're like, just because you're a good customer here doesn't mean you need to work here. And I'm thinking, you keep telling someone that they can't do it and they're not going to be able to. And so the other guy was like, thanks for everything, and don't be a stranger. And I'm like, oh, I won't. I'm going to order something on the way out. And he gave that to me for free because I was still training. But yeah, a really high expectation that is absolutely ridiculous because, and I say this not to take blame for my responsibility that I didn't even know. I mean, I wasn't even told about the chicken wings, but it was real subtle, and I think they wanted me out of there. And the vibe that I had with my coworkers was, we all don't know what we're doing. Just fake it till you make it. And then one girl who's been there for a long time is like, I didn't even know this, or I don't know this. Their training there is not good, and they can't keep people, and it's because of bad training. So my whole point, I'm going to wrap this up because I've got a lot to do, but I haven't done a face-to-face since I've been in New Hampshire. My whole point to this is, I did get a compliment, by the way. Someone there at the restaurant said, oh, your tan is so even. And she's like, you're darker than I am, and I'm Hawaiian. And I'm like, oh, thank you, thank you for that. And so anyways, that was a highlight amongst being failed. So to wrap this up, I was like, okay, if I do not pass this test, I'm coming to New Hampshire because I can't afford to waste my time, right? And it's not like I went there and chose to fail so that I could come to New Hampshire. It's just like, it's either going to be yes or no with this job. And so it was a no question about it. It was a no. That brought me over here. And this airplane ticket too, was the only ticket for $108. So I'm like, if you're going to go to New Hampshire, you better get going. For $108, you can get to New Hampshire. So it was just like, take it now. I mean, there was no question I was meant to be here at this particular time. So, and it's amazing how I saw my son today. He had no idea I was in New Hampshire, went over to the restaurant just on his own and saw me. Again, that would not have happened but God. So, yeah, I just couldn't find my son. It was like a needle in a haystack when I was looking for him these last 2 days. So, if I do not get work, I will be headed back probably tomorrow if I don't get any good leads or anything solid, just so that I can make sure, one of the reasons I came up here was storage, to get that in order. And the other thing was I wanted to see my son. So 2 things there. I wanted to come back to New Hampshire because I hadn't been here. Tomorrow I'll be at church to see friends. And after that, after I'm done my storage, if I can't get anywhere here, I'm headed back. Not that that's going to solve the work problem, because I mean, I'll work. Colorado. It's beautiful, but it doesn't beat New Hampshire in my eyes. And I still want to go to the beach too, and the pool, the city pool. But you know, people are starting to leave Colorado now because it's getting so expensive. And it's beautiful, but again, New Hampshire outbeats it. And the other thing too is not only are people leaving, but to me, my experience with Colorado, I don't know how other people's has been with work, is they just got their head up their butt. And I hate to say it, but I'm from New Hampshire where the work foundation here is pretty strong. And I've already had more opportunity just being here 2 days with all the jobs I've called, getting right back to me like Domino's did. I had an interview today. I mean, I just today I contacted them and within 2 hours I had an interview. So I just think New Hampshire has a much stronger foundation with its workforce. There's just something about Colorado. I mean, some people are like, oh, they're laid back and easygoing, and you know, they're kind of like, people up here are stuck up and they don't have the time of day for you. I think both of them are true, and I think there's a balance somewhere between the two. So for me personally, if I'm going to choose a side, because there is nothing perfect, I feel like a strong workforce is important to me in a state. So anyways, that's that. And depending on what happens, I will let you all know tomorrow how things are looking. And I am probably just going to do the videos with the storage and, you know, figure out the job stuff tomorrow. So that's what I got for now. And I just took a little break. I had my rice, Chinese rice for dinner and chicken. And I'm going to have my dough. So that's what I got for now, guys. Thanks for joining me.